So my brakes came in the mail today. It's actually made for a go-kart. It's got a hydraulic master cylinder and a hydraulic disc, and it won't quite open up enough. I was planning on using this sprocket as the disc, and it's hard for me to hold it and show you, but it lacks maybe a 32nd of an inch, a 16th of an inch or something. So I'm gonna operate. So this is the little disc thing. This is the abrasive side and this is metal. And I think if I just grind it all down flush with those little divots, I think that will give me enough room. I'm going to do that.
So that was a success. I can get the caliper over the disc now, but the teeth on the sprocket keep the disc from getting 100% contact. I can't get it toward the center line of the shaft quite far enough. So got the grinder out and I'm reducing the teeth. I didn't get them 100% off, but I got most of them off and I got it rounded real well. Try to make it a little less scary when it's spinning.
It took me a little while, but I got a pattern cut for the support for the brake caliper. I think will work. So I just need to cut a piece of steel to look like this, but prettier.
A lot of YouTube builder guys, everything they touch, every piece of steel they touch looks like it's brand new, and I don't understand how they do that, because where I'm from, minimum lengths on purchasing this stuff is 20 foot or a 4x8 sheet, and man, that would get kind of pricey if you need a little piece of steel and you got to buy a whole piece. So anyway, I'm grateful for the rusty pile of crap I got. I'm usually able to cut whatever I need out of it. These projects are much more fun when you're not draining your pocketbook to try to complete one.
So I cut my steel, except for the fact that I cut it 100% backwards, it fits pretty good. I got the leg going in, it should have been coming out. So I'll cut it off and swap it around, and then we'll have to try to figure out where to drill the holes. It's kind of critical. Okay, messing with this brake here. I got the little bracket cut and fit. It took quite a few tries. The problem I'm having now is I need to mark the two holes that are in this brake. They're on the back side of my steel, and I just can't figure it out. So I put some blue tape on there, and I marked it with a Sharpie as best I can. I'm going to take it off and mark it from the back side. Hopefully it'll be close enough. I can always move the bracket a little bit to get the brake right before I weld it to the frame, but it will be welded.
So I brought it over to the bench. I marked and drilled the top hole because I could see it a little better, and then bolted the caliper to the brace and put it back on the cart to make sure everything was okay, and then took it back to the bench and marked, and then I drilled the bottom hole and bolted it, and then brought it back to the cart. Got it as straight as I possibly could with the sprocket, which is now the brake disc, and I went ahead and welded the bracket down to the frame. So it's a done deal. The sprocket has a little bit of a wobble to it, so when I do the absolute final bolting this thing together, I'm sure I'm going to remove that back shaft several times before I'm finished. When I finish, I can shim that sprocket with I've got some thin shims to get it straight.
This is the brake from the riding mower. It's a pretty simple little deal. It's got this bent plate which is kind of acts as a cam, and when you turn it, pushes these two little rods which push on a disc which squeezes against this little disc, and the disc floats in and out, and the other brake pad is right there. So I was thinking it'd be kind of nice to have this on the go-kart, so I think I'm going to cut this part out so I'll have the back half of this, and see if I can't add it as a parking brake. Okay, I was gonna start messing with the lawnmower parking brake this morning and it doesn't work. It's designed for such a small radius. The way the bolts are located that hold it together, they won't go over the big radius of the brake disc I have. They would just catch a teeny little bit of the brake disc. So this is going in the garbage, and I have ordered a different one from eBay. My manual brake came in on the mail. It's not a bad looking little unit. It didn't open wide enough to fit this thick disc that I'm using, so I had to put some washers between it. But there's really no way to mount the thing. So what I'll do is take out this nut and bolt that came with it, it's metric, and replace it with a little all thread. I have some grade 5 all thread. I think I can fit through there and let the end stick out, and that'll give me something to fasten it to, hopefully. Okay, finished the little bracket for the parking emergency backup brake. It's just as simple as it could be, and I intentionally used some really light gauge material because only one of these pads moves, the other one's fixed. So when you put on the brake, it's going to want to flex something. It just sits right there. It'll be bolted. One bolt will go through the square tube, one bolt just goes through the plywood. And I will probably have to weld onto this arm coming off the bottom because I'm going to need to pull. If I have a cable brake, I can't really push with it. There's not enough room back here to pull. So I'll make something sticking straight down and put a hole back here and run a cable up to wherever I put the parking brake deal. But this came out good. So all the brake parts back here in the back are finished. No controls yet, but I'll wait until I get a little further along with the car body so I can route them in the right spot.